everybody! Today I want to risk my channel by talking about Thresh, because he is a great support and doing guides on easy champions is not my cup of tea. So let's get started. For runes, you will always want to go for Resolve with Aftershock, because Thresh is an example of really good engaging champion. So Aftershock will help you survive when you are direct towards your target. I guess that's the term. And obviously, the little bit damage afterwards is nice too. Next is always with my videos, depends on preferences. But you can either go for Demolish or Font of Life. You can go for Demolish, but I would mostly recommend if you have a botline duo. So you know that you will be able to push the lane and win win the lane and then push it. So you know that you will get use of Demolish really quickly. Otherwise, I would recommend Font of Life because you have basically three CC abilities, meaning that your Font of Life will come to a good use. And as always, you can heal your whole or team with it. It's not high heal, but it is a heal nonetheless. Next, I would highly recommend Bone Plating because you thrive in that before level 6 place. You are heavy roamer and this helps you to get individual targets killed. You could try to go for Second Wind if, as always, uh, they have poking line, but with Thresh you basically are trying to stay safe until you commit and go in. So I would recommend going Bone Plating instead. And lastly, you can be a bit tanky with Overgrowth, but most of your tankiness comes from resistances. So that's not a giant amount, so that's not very useful. Revitalize, you have literally no heal apart from Font of Life, and your shield apart from items comes only from your W, and that's a really small shield. So having that CC resistance is really nice. For secondary runes, I always go Inspiration with Cosmic Insight, and as secondary rune, you can go for Biscuit Delivery, or, well, I guess I would always go for Biscuit Delivery. Before, I used to go for Gargoyles Stoneplate real early, so I sometimes went for Perfect Timing, but right now Biscuit Delivery is just best, and it allows you to stay in lane longer and go for a roam really easy. And lastly, small runes. You wanna go ability haste and either to armor or to magic resist, depending on enemy ADC. Although I guess that if they have really balanced team, you can take magic resist and armor, since thanks to your passive you will get a lot of armor passively. And that is going to be everything for runes. I'll see you with the rest of the video in the game. Okay, and let's start it off as always with summoner spells. Obviously, Flash is out of the talking right away, and I like to use Ignite because, you know, Thresh is really strong early game champion, so this will help you secure more kills than usually. If you feel like you need to use Exhaust, you can, but I would not really recommend it. Ignite is just, in my opinion, much better option. Now, straight to the items. Your first item is obviously uh, going to be steel shoulder guards, because you obviously can take the other one for AP, but I like this more because of that early game. So as I was saying before, you want to do this because Thresh's early game is so strong. Next, we will always, and I mean always, want to go for mobbies first, because you are a roaming champion. Your movement speed is really important to you, so you can get that first kill in line, return, and then go to mid. That's basically your game plan with Thresh. Possibly securing kill there, or at least helping your champion gain elite, then going back to bot. You can also go to top. Thresh is heavy roaming champion. For your main item, I would recommend Rocket, because first off, giving every other item armor and magic resist is good for Thresh, as I was saying. This is his way of being tanky, having resistances. And obviously that shield is extremely good too. After that, it's basically like every other support nowadays. You just go for Zeke's Convergence and Knight's Vow. And for your last item, because I am a big fan, you can go for Redemption. If you would feel like that, you can go instead of Knight's Vow, you can try to go for, what's the name? Yes, you can go for any of the ward items, because you are a support and Thresh is really relying on having vision, so he can cast his Q more securely and it has higher chances of success. So I would also recommend any ward item too, but most of the time you will still go for Knight's Vow because it's easy to use. And now to the abilities. And I wonder, okay, uh, give me a second. Basically, every time a unit or dice near you, it will drop soul. You can then collect this soul, and it will add you armor and ability power. It is really nice, and you can. Well, I'll try to give a prime example, but I think that you all know how the souls look and how do you collect them. You just walk over. So you will easily be tanky as hell after 10 minutes, because if you're collecting souls properly, you will be really powerful. Also, they increase rest of your abilities. Now, just to say, you have a guaranteed chance of dropped souls from champions, and from champions, monster camps, and objectives always gives you 2 souls. Oh my god, what's wrong with me? So if you're near dragon, you can easily collect them and get it. The exact numbers are, yes, uh, you can see the math right here. Now to the more important parts of Thresh. This is a dummy, and this is your Q. Your Q is a hook. It has a really long wind-up time. It is a really strong hook. It is more than a second and a half of CC. So when you're trying to get someone with it, you always have to predict right. This is how it looks, and as you can see, it takes a really long time before the hook actually lands. So it's like, I think it's like half a second, yeah, before the look is launched, and then it's easy to hit them. But before, you can't aim at their current position, you have to aim where they will be. That is the one of the reasons why Thresh is so hard, is landing his Q properly. So what I would always recommend is try to get them from sides, which basically makes every skill shot ever easier to land. But if you know that they want to run away from you, you will just land a hook here, and they will have to walk into it, or they may just walk towards your ally champions who are over here. So that's a bit of positioning with Thresh's Q. Also, obviously, when you land it, you can for this time reactivate it and drag yourself towards the target. It is really nice because your E and R have nice synergy. Also, while you're in your Q, you can't cast rest of your abilities. Yes. Next, your W. This, again, really important to use properly, but this depends more on your allies. So, in this radius right here, you can throw your lantern. The lantern will give shield to allies who are in this radius. Also, for the duration of the lantern being on the ground, your allies can get dragged towards you as long as you're in this circle. So you can easily help them escape, engage, and they will engage after you thanks to your lantern. And it's probably everything to it right now, to the explanation. Also, if you leave the circle, the lantern will automatically disappear. And also it scales with your collected souls. Next is your E, and this again is a really nice ability. You have two options. You will, as you can see this circle, you can either uh, bounce opponents away or towards you. It will knock them up and stun them very briefly, which means that it's a great disruptability and works on almost any movement ability in the game. Tristana jump, this disrupts it. Leona pool, this disrupts it. It's a really strong ability and works really nice. Also passively, as you can see right here, uh, every time you deal damage with basic attack, it deals additional damage according to time you have not attacked with a basic attack, and together with the number of souls you collected. Here's the math, and I hope you understand that from my chaotic explanation. And lastly, we got your ultimate, which is called very originally the box. Basically, when you cast it, this fifth wall box will appear around you. And every time an enemy passes or appears in one of the walls, it will slow them by beautiful 99% for 2 seconds. This happens only to the first enemy, and after that the slow duration is halved and additional enemies take no damage. So it's a really great ability to get one enemy and then just hope that enemy team will be scared to get near the rest of the walls, because it is still a significant slow. So it is a great threat ability. And that is probably going to be everything. Now for some combos. First off, just basic thing, you can use your... Oh, actually, before combos. I always forget about this part. This part. Your abilities have a really important uh, upgrade order. So, for example, if you know that you want to innovate and have a really strong early game jungler, you usually want to go for your Q first. This also applies if you have a really strong level 1 ADC and you know that you will be able to kill your enemy, because all that's easy. If you would instead knew that you will be able to engage on level 2, I would probably go for your E
Turret
first,
plating will soon
because
fall.
able to you will be able to destroy the monster easier, which is not such a great reason to take it, but you can still help your jungle a lot. And more importantly, it helps you with farming with your support item, meaning that it's easier to get the last hit on it. And obviously, after you get these two, the skill order is Q, E, W, and ultimate whenever you can. Now to the combos. Firstly, you can't use, unlike with other champions, you can't use your Q and then flash. It will just flash you after your Q is done. So you have to flash and Q. So just like this, and you cover a really long range. Another really important and quite harder combo is basically combining every ability you have. So you wanna flash, then Q, your target, W, your nearest ally who will come with you and kill them, while you're recasting your Q to get towards your target, you'll cast your E, and then your ultimate. And it looks something like this. And this is kind of a destructive combo. You obviously can choose where you will fly them, depending on where you want to have them. For example, sometimes it's better to fly them oh my god, away from yourself, as you could see right here, because let's say that you got Lonely Assassin. You don't want your ally to be close to him. So you will be standing between them and covering him. Otherwise, you will just do this. And they should be dead because they have been stunned, knocked up, slowed of damage, and your ally was there the whole time. And that's, I think, basically it, because most of the Thresh doesn't really have combos. There is the interaction with Flash and Q, and this is the full combo you can perform. But most of the uh, Thresh comboing depends on situation. So you obviously may have enemy who is attacking your ally. You can Q him, get to him, get him away. You may have enemy who is in fact running away. You will Q him, get to him, and get him towards your ally. Your W is most reliable on situation, I'd say, because you may want to use it because of your higher movement speed to help ally escape when you're getting ganked. You may want to use it when you're engaging on them. Sometimes you just use it to get the shield. I like once I got saved by this 220 shield. So it's really situational, and your ultimate has really short cooldown, so don't be afraid to use that. Now to some laning. First off, when you're in lane, you want to stay kind of safe, because your abilities early on have really long cooldowns. Then it's really late game, you basically perform QE and you're basically able to use your Q again. But early on, you have to commit with aerial attacks and know that they are going to be effective. So you want to stay behind your minion waves, and every time an minion dies, you can try to get it. Get the soul, I mean. And while you're in there, you can just commit and maybe get enemies. This is also the part where I tell you that I forgot to tell you something. So your W can collect souls, where, for example, when you got a Drake and you see some support trying to ward here, you can easily just throw the lantern near the dragon. It will collect the souls. One of the champions will be able to get to you. You hook the support and you got them. Obviously, you want to use your movement speed from. You have a really high base movement speed, but also from your mobbies to get to mid lane and help your mid laner a lot, because with all Thresh CCs it's really easy for them to kill their enemy. And one last thing, as I was saying, you need to have ward control, because Thresh is so reliant on hitting his Q, and as you can see, it takes really long time before it lands. So when you're hidden, you increase this chance of hitting significantly, and that is probably going to be everything for laning. For some matchup, you obviously do really great against champions with low health, because if your ADC is able to kill them, you don't have to deal that much damage, and you really deal a lot of CC, so lower health they got, the easier it is for you to kill them. You obviously do bad against poking matchups, because you have really long cooldowns early on. And so if they have something like Elax, which obviously is a great target for you, low health, but if she's covered and plays smart, you probably won't be able to hit her ever, because she can just E you every second and get you so low that once you engage, they will get at least that right. Now, Thresh is really strong with early game ADCs. So if you get something like Tristana, Lucian, Draven, you basically can be like QPTA, we have one. Because if they play decent, you play decent, you can get so many early kills and then roaming, and because they will be able to survive. So you can help your other lanes. And that is going to be everything for Thresh. So I hope you enjoyed. Please subscribe, and I guess I will see you in the next video. Patry out!